Lights, camera, action.
We are here today and we are getting ready to get the Hexagon Supra up and print it and laminate it and all that. I guess it's the Hexagon Supra, right?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
So this design was brought to us by the client. The client actually started doodling on graph paper and just random things. I actually have like an artboard back here of stuff that he has that he wanted. It was kind of interesting. It's a cool concept. It's not something or style that I would personally design, but once I dug into it and got it going, it's pretty cool. He has lots of meanings and lots of things in it that he has and that he understands, and we'll actually get him to you know, explain to you guys what it is later in the video. But for the most part, I've been going through his little papers here. You can see on the screen all these doodles that he had done, and he's trying to bring to full life, you know. But it's hard to take something of this nature and make it work on a three-dimensional object, especially a Supra. There's nothing flat really on the Supra. But you know, I took each individual side, kind of basically laid it out. I had in my Illustrator file with some of the other pictures here of all the sides, and really just trying to figure out what's going to be the best way to do this project. The car is naturally silver. He wants a silver base with black lines and then fading out. You know, we could have used cut film, but then you couldn't fade something when we cut the film. We could have used a clear wrap film, but we ended up actually going with the silver. So the silver is actually really close to the silver of the car, but actually we both agree that this silver is prettier than the Toyota silver. But he's got all these other objects in it. So half the car is black in the front, half the car is hexagon, and he has this like almost rising sun starburst on the hexagon. Then he has the blue, red, orange, and yellow stripes going down the side, or down the middle, and that kind of separates both sides. And there's hexagon up front on the silver side, and there's hexagon in the back on the black side, and it was very confusing trying to figure out how I was going to make everything work. But once I got it inside the computer and started, you know, putting things together, it slowly made more sense, but it was still difficult to figure out how I was going to fade everything. And then my initial concept, you know, I sent him was close, but it wasn't right, because I kind of was looking at this object and was trying to make sense of how he was fading and breaking these apart, and then ended up actually just fading it in the file here, which you can kind of see. Kind of faded it up, and I used that same fade on both sides. But the hard part was the fade was over here, it was all black, and then the other side's all silver. And even after setting up all the files, I still screwed it up and had to redo like the deck lid like 3 times, because it was just confusing, and I finally got it right. But I'm in hopes that like the hexagon patterns are going to line up. So we did it in not a normal fashion. This car is not even normal, I would actually say, because the hood is so big on it. We had to butt seam it, which was fine. But the hood is part of the fender on the side of it. So when you're designing on the side of the car, the hood rolls down, and that's one piece, and then you have to kind of line it up with the door of the car and these hexagons. So it's kind of like a shit show trying to see how everything's gonna line up. But I think it's going to do well. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's been a pretty interesting project. I think the final outcome is going to be super, super cool. So you kind of see like where we faded it into it. The Supra has so many pieces. You can see the silver piece right here. We actually ended up having to reprint it and then stick it back on, because when this door goes down, the vinyl needs to go all the way down into here, then you end up overstretching it. So we ended up having to do that a separate piece. We haven't done the deck lid yet, but we did the 3M textured carbon fiber on the roof and the pillars too, which he asked for, which is going to be pretty cool. I think he's got caps for the mirrors that we're going to end up wrapping, so I think this side's going to be carbon and that side's going to be red. You can kind of see here how we've done, if you get in close, you can see a butt seam here. So this is all one piece, and then this is the other piece. And then he's got his knifeless tape here, because we're going to end up wrapping the bumper the same way. You can see around here we were actually successful, damn near close, getting the hexagon pattern to line up. We do got to reprint some pieces on here as well, but it kind of fades back and looks good. Looks like paint. Yeah. But that's where we're at so far. We just got to finish the bumpers, the rear, and then we put all the stripes, the rising sun on, and then a couple little things we were talking about, and we'll probably do the badges, little custom badges. Talking about doing BMW emblem behind the Toyota emblem, since it's a BMW.
You really are a funny guy!
Yeah, we got the back half wrapped so far. We also did some carbon fiber strips here on top, because he had some like real sparkly things that wasn't working. But that's pretty much where we're at, so you can cut to some B-roll clips of getting wrapped. So I mean, we kind of just want to talk about, get your idea and concept behind what you know, any kind of meaning that you want to explain to anybody, all that kind of stuff.
Well,
with your nice board here.
Yeah.
And we thought it was comical that you had all BMW.
Yeah. Look, so kind of the idea here is, obviously everyone's aware that there's been a tug of war between the ownership of the Supra between Toyota and BMW. And you know, in the past I had German cars, not BMWs. And I think the more people engage in that conversation, the funnier it gets, you know, with the trolling comments on social media and stuff like that. So instead of like fighting it, I decided that maybe the best way to do it was to just join it, beat them to the punch, if you will.
Embrace it.
Yeah, so I noticed one of the really popular things in the BMW culture in recent years, especially since the advent of wrapping, is this kind of like half and half job. I saw a lot of them.
Two-face.
Yeah.
We've done a few of them.
Yeah, yeah.
On BMWs.
I really like black cars normally. So if I'm gonna split it, at least I can get the best of both worlds.
Right.
Get, at least from one angle, it's a black car. So that's kind of where the black side came from.
Okay.
You know, the rest of this is kind of like influenced in kind of the heritage of classic Toyota culture. Going back to, you know, the Ivan Stewart race trucks, you know, where we pulled the, you know, the old school red, orange, and yellow stripes that had to be there somewhere. That was a good way to divide the color, you know. And then in JDM culture too, it's really popular to see the old Japanese flag somewhere. A lot of times it might be a small windshield banner or something, but I figure bolder is better. Right. Especially when you have a wrap and a shop that's capable of doing it. Right. You know what I mean? So I thought that was a good way to incorporate that. And then just kind of messing around with the designs and things like that. Obviously, you can't ignore the existence of the hexagons all over the car. Right. I just find it a really good geometric and organic shape that kind of adds, especially with the Supra where it's there's no flat surfaces on the car.
Absolutely not.
So when you take something that is kind of very two-dimensional and start stretching it over a curve, I just thought that would be a good way to keep some of the body shape, you know, visible. So, yeah, that's kind of where the idea came from. You know, and sketches and revisions.
It was definitely a cool idea. The concepts actually came in yesterday to do some work, and I walked by it at least 10 times, and there wasn't a time that I didn't look back at it. And it's not in my car.
Yeah, well, that's good.
No, it was a cool concept. It was fun for me because I don't necessarily get to bring other people's ideas together because I don't really have a good enough concept. Most people come in here and just, I have no idea what I want, just do your thing. So I think throughout the process, watching it evolve, even from like the first revision that I gave you of what I was trying to piece together from the artwork that you sent me, it evolved into, you know, bigger hexagons and more of a fade versus a breakaway. You know what I mean? I think it turned out really good. I'm super excited to show.
I was actually really impressed, and I think you recall, you know, I kind of gave you something that looked like this initially.
Yeah, it was pretty much.
And the very first revision, which was really cool because I was just like walking around and I got an email notification, was something that looked like that. And I remember being like, dude, almost perfectly nailed it on the first try. I mean, we barely had to make any revisions, you know, very small changes. So I really like that system.
Yeah, it was.
I really like it.
It was a cool concept, and I told you from the get that trying to get these hexagons to line up and the patterns that you have it are going to be next to impossible. Yeah. But we like a challenge. Yeah. So, I mean, I think now is really the time to kind of show you what it looks like.
Let's do it,
see
man.
how they lined up.
So. I'm pumped. Let's check it out. Oh my God! Holy cow! That is incredible. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, wow. I think the black side is my favorite side.
Oh man, I'm getting choked up a little bit. My eyes are starting to water a little
It's
bit.
real now. This is by far.
Oh my god.
This is like my favorite side. The way that it just like.
This looks
It blends.
so
So.
good. I can't believe you got this lined up like that.
Yeah, I mean that was definitely the hardest part was here. I mean the only place where it's not really lined up is in here.
Yeah.
Where we kind of fudged it. Here.
Never noticed.
Here landed perfectly, and then the rear.
Look at this. You see this? Look at this. We're gonna troll some people with this, right?
Oh, yeah,
Ultimate trolling
Yeah,
right here. Watch the hate flow.
that turned out good. That turned out good.
Watch the hate flow through you. Yeah, I'm sorry. You were talking. I got distracted.
Hey man, enjoy it.
Dude, I can't believe. I mean, look, I don't do this for a living, but I know, I've mentioned to you that this area right here had to be a nightmare.
My only thing about it, and the only way it ended up lining up, is the hexagons are slightly arced or turned, but it's not anything that anybody will notice. But it lined up, and I was like, okay, so we lined up that part. That was cool. But I was like, there ain't no way we're lining up the back part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the back part, the way we ended up using all one piece, the only place that doesn't really line up is here. But like right here, like this angle, this picture right here is perfect.
Yeah.
From the hexagon, and everything I told you that we weren't going to be able to do, we did.
I love it. I absolutely love it, dude. You not, I mean, I can't even believe.
Yeah, the only thing that we have left really is your Marine Corps.
Yeah. I'll take care of this. Dude, this looks fantastic. Dude, this
and like even if you don't get your mirror tabs, it looks fucking bad. Yes, it looks good. So.
Unbelievable.